Welcome to Brain Vision.
Okay, our question says 1 hectare is defined as 1.000 times 10 to the fourth square meters, whereas 1 acre is 4.356 times 10 to the 4 square feet. And it wants us to figure out how many acres are there in 1 hectare. Okay, so we're going to need to convert hectares into acres. So I wrote what we have given here, 1 hectare, which I abbreviate as HEC. Make this a little easier to read. HEC is equal to 1.00 times 10 to the 4 square meters. And 1 acre, which I abbreviate as ACR, is equal to 4.356 times 10 to the 4 square feet. And then I also wrote down here the conversion between meters and feet, because we're going to need to do that if we're to compare these two quantities. 1 meter is equal to 3.281 feet. So then the question is, 1 hectare is equal to how many acres, some unknown quantity of acres, to figure out how many hectares there are in an acre. So we'll go ahead and write out first. We're going to need write out what we have for a hectare. What we know, 1 hectare is equal to 1.000. It's important to include those zeros because that's letting us know how many significant figures we have. There's 4 significant figures there. Okay, and that's square meters. Now, in order to compare acres and hectares, we need to convert meters into feet. So we'll use that conversion factor that I wrote down there. So we need to multiply this by the conversion between meters and feet. There's 3.281 feet per every meter, right? So for every 1 meter. But the meters is squared, so we need to square this. The square goes on the outside of the parenthesis. Okay, and then we also, now that we've just converted it from meters into feet, we also need to multiply this by the conversion from feet into acres. So for every 1 acre, there is 4.356 times 10 to the 4th square feet. Extend that line there. Okay, so if we plug all of this into our calculator and carry it out, we find that for every 1 hectare, there is 2.471, and I write 4 significant figures here because that's the accuracy of the values we were given, 2.471 acres. We'll box that in because that's our solution for how many acres there are in a hectare.